Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. So we are about to start. If you want to leave in the chat where you're from and from where you're watching us, we're so happy to have you all here. And also, if you don't mind answering the poll that should appear on your screen so we get to know you better and we know if you are already a Real Estate IQ subscriber, if you would like to have a one-on-one consultation of our services together with a free demonstration of our tools. So that would be fantastic. So welcome for the ones that haven't heard of us before. We are Real Estate IQ. We are so happy to have you here today. So let's get started. We have more than 500 webinars hosted, more than 12,000 registered attendees, and more than 100 keynote speakers. Let me tell you a little bit more about us. So who we are a lead generation software and solutions company focused on helping real estate investors kickstart their businesses. So we strive to become the platform and resource to help them achieve their real estate dream. So what do? We provide real estate solutions to make deals come true. We offer a suite of lead generation automation tools, educational content, and additional services to the real estate industry to help entrepreneurs kickstart and grow their business. So this is the streamline of our solutions. We offer off-market leads to find the freshest data mined straight from the card houses daily on our data portal. We also offer you events, re-education led by experts and training on our solutions, skip tracing, get homeowners contact information effortlessly, CRM, perfect to track listings and marketing campaigns, virtual assistance, virtual support for administrative tasks, customer service, and more. Fire, personalized financial checkups and consultancy. EVA, run real estate comps in seconds with our renewed evaluation CMA. CLM, we now provide custom data mining in over 50 states. And the membership. So tailor plans to meet every investor's needs. So this is the deal of the day. Today, we bring you this golden lead to grow your business. So you can contact us to learn more. You can scan the QR code. You can sign up to get the full address. You can also submit your deals to advertise. So don't miss it. This is a great opportunity. And also, we recommend you to join us in our newsletter so you can stay informed with Real Estate IQ's weekly newsletter, so you can get market insights, data updates, and event highlights. So all you need for successful real estate investments, you can find it here. Also, you can request a consultation, a complimentary 30-minute in-depth one-on-one demo of Real Estate IQ's solutions with one of our experts. So we'll walk you through everything you need to know. For more information, you can contact Bracenet at realestateIQ.co. Also, you can scan the QR code that appears on the screen or answer the poll that also should appear on your screen. These are our social media accounts where you can follow us as well. We are in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and you can also use the QR codes that appear below of each icon so you won't miss any of our weekly webinars and in-person events. This is the Academy, Learning Made Easy. Here you can find our best webinars and short courses, so you can stream it at any time and from wherever you're based. So log in to stream. We have Martin today talking about ways to find real estate deals. Let me tell you a little bit about him. So Express Capital Financing is a real estate investment firm founded in 2016 by Martin Chera and his sons, David and Max. Martin's extensive real estate business operations knowledge helps investors identify suitable properties and make informed decisions. So he uses his business acumen to help clients expand their existing companies by acquiring additional properties. Martin values his clients, and personally handles all their transactions. So he holds an MBA from Baruch College, City University of New York. We are so happy to have you with us today, Martin. So thank you very much for joining us and sharing your expertise with us. We are so thankful. I'm gonna stop
Well,
sharing my screen.
you've got
And
it. You've got it.
yeah, feel free everybody to write your questions in the chat box and the Q&A box, so he's able to answer them as soon as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Maria, for that. And welcome everybody to this episode of how to find real estate deals in these challenging times. My name is Martin Chera. I'm the owner of Express Capital Financing. We started this company, like she said, in about 13 years ago. We started out as brokers, and now, thank God, we became actual lenders that specialize in fix and flips, ground up construction, and 30-year perm, whether it's a single family up to 4 units and commercial properties. But this month's topic is about way to find real estate deals. I'll give you some insight and best practices. As always, reach out to your professional, whether it's an accountant or lawyer, for any information that you need to either start your business or to grow your business. With that said, we'll take the questions after, so I can do my presentation and provide you with some great insights out there. That's me on the left, Martin, and that's one of my sons in the business, Max. So using other people's money is to get higher returns on the investment, and it's all about the profits. Looking for deals. So there are many ways to do it, and I'm just gonna, approach it, quite a few ways. You may want to get a pencil and paper ready, just write some things down. And like I said, anything you need questions on, I'll be happy to answer after the presentation. Looking for deals on the MLS, which is the multiple listing service. That's more of a realtor or a broker out there, a real estate agent, where they can get your deals into. Get some automated email alerts set up for real estate agents that fit your criteria. What do I mean by your criteria? You want to tell the realtor or your broker, I'm looking for multifamilies, 5+ doors, or single families up to 4 doors. Your city, your state, you want either a fixer upper or you want something that's already cash flowing. Try to be specific, try to be detailed as much as you can, because brokers and realtors, they are busy and they want to work with professional, real estate investors. Of course, you're going to find, a new person out there that'll have the patience and the time. And by the way, a good realtor will spend time with you on the phone or meet with them. My suggestion also was meet with them, take them out for a cup of coffee. Tell them I want to be an investor. This is my goal in this particular county, and this is how much capital I have. And I want to buy this amount of properties per year or per month. They want to hear that so they know how much time to devote to you. And at the same time, are you somewhat going to be, wasting their time, and things like that. So it's good to get started with a realtor. You may say, yes, I'm starting out retail versus other ways and channels. It depends on you, but this is a great way to get started in real estate. So driving for dollars, and some of the things I'm going to repeat a little bit here, but in a different way. So I just want to, I'll get to that. Driving in your car, driving around, looking for vacant properties. When you find something, write down the address, and then you go home and you're going to do research on the address and find out who owns the property and send them a letter. But driving for dollars is an old-fashioned way, and it's still a very, very lucrative and positive way to do it. Years ago, there was only the UPS driver and the mailman. Today, you got, Amazon, you got USPS, you got all types of trucks and deliveries out there. Talk to them, tell them your name, tell them if you find me a property that's vacant or distressed, and tell them what vacant and distressed means, whether it's high grass, a lot of mail in the mailbox, a lot of newspapers on the lawn that hasn't been picked up. Maybe there's an eviction sign or some type of a sign in the window that hasn't been touched and looked at. A lot of times, even open windows with no curtains also show some type of vacancy. A vacancy also could be a dilapidated roof, a lot of debris in the front or the back. Maybe there's also debris in those containers outside for the garbage. So this is a great way to find strategic properties out there. And again, you write down the address. Even you should knock on doors with the neighbors on the right side, the left side, and tell them, do you know who the owners are? Is there anything you could tell me about the property? The more information you get, the better you will be, but at the same time, more resourceful on you finding properties out there. But just a little, and again, I'm going to recap on some of these things in a little while. But if you don't have any information other than the address, write it down. And then what you're going to do when you get home is you're going to go to your county assessor's office online. For example, I'm in Monmouth County, New Jersey, and I will put down counter assessor's office in Monmouth County. I get the website, and I put down 123 Main Street in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and it should give you information from the owner, but it may not give you information from the owner's name, the phone number, the email, and that's where skip tracing comes in that Maria was mentioning on REIQ, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But let everybody know that you're in real estate. Let everybody know who whoever you're hanging out with, families and friends, real estate groups, real estate events, expos. Let them all know that you are in real estate. The more you know, the better it is for you. And it's not really about what you know, it's whom you know that's going to make you, get your business more successful and acclimated. Participate participate in real estate clubs. Those are the RIAs in your area, and whether it's your city or your state. Another good way is look up a meetup, MEET, meetup.com. Look up for groups. They have divorce groups, they have singles groups, all kinds of groups. Another way to do it is put in real estate. Me as a lender, I started out doing that about 13 years ago. That's how I find my investors. And what better way for you to find wholesalers, realtors, landlords that just want to sell a property? These are very good ways to find, properties out there as real estate groups. Direct mail, send letters to people. You never know who's going to answer. After the presentation, I'll tell you the website that I know about that for direct mail. I'm not sure if REIQ does it. When people ask me, is it successful? I say it's all about the numbers. You can't just send out 500 and expect back, to get back a 20, 10, 20% return. People calling you up. It's about continuity. It's about consistency. Sometimes change your content in your ad, but consistency is the number, is the getting back. It's a numbers game, and it's about being more successful about that. And believe it or not, it's no use if you're going to be sending out direct mail and people are going to call you and you're not going to be able to pick up. So be able to pick up, even if you have a daytime job, pick up the phone so you could talk to whoever that's calling you about your direct marketing. Number 6 is identifying pre-foreclosure properties. And again, I'm going to talk a lot about this a little bit later in the presentation. But people haven't paid their mortgage 30, 60, 90 days. They're in real danger of losing their house to foreclosure. This is what you look out for, whether it's your county assessor's office, whether it's the foreclosure, which is the sheriff's sales office. This is a great way to find properties. Just my opinion, pre-foreclosures, if you're newbies, it's good to go. Would I be offering out there and start bidding on properties if it's your first or second time? Just my opinion, I would not. I would be more focused on the other methods which I'm describing here. Even though pre-foreclosures and foreclosures are a good way to find properties, you want to be a little successful because there's a lot of channels to go through, such as if there's existing liens on the property, and with foreclosed properties, you're probably not going to be able to get in. How much fixing? You're not going to know this unless you're a successful real estate investor. I'm not saying you have to do 10 or 20 to start delving into pre-foreclosures and foreclosures, but you don't want to be going in from the beginning and start going into that. Courthouses, and that's like the sheriff's sale. So after somebody stops paying their mortgage, they get foreclosed upon, and then it goes to the courthouse steps. It can show up there, you bid on it, and potentially you buy the property right there. However, there's pre-foreclosure and there's foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure means the homeowner is typically 30, 60, 90 days late. it won't hit the courthouse or foreclosure and, until about 90 to 120 days when the bank finally did all the steps that they had to do to actually go to a foreclosure status. That typically takes about, I'm going to say 90 to 120, and some states even a little bit longer. I know New York could take 2 years until a property hits until it hits the courthouse. So it really just depends on your county and your state. Checking out eviction records, also going to to the courthouse. Getting friendly with the courthouse clerk and getting some records over there of evictions that are happening with landlords. It's open records, it's open information. So, it's not like it's private information, nothing like that whatsoever. So these are very awesome ways to find out properties. Posting on Craigslist. So besides going to, properties for sale, which all of us want to find properties up there, and let's think about it. Homeowners who are putting their properties on Craigslist probably are either too embarrassed to put a sale sign, or they can't afford the realtor fee, 4, 5, 6%. So this is a a way to find properties out there that are more off the market, which is Craigslist. Another way on Craigslist I would suggest is even finding property, going to Craigslist and looking at for rent. And you may say, well, wait a minute, I'm looking to buy, I'm looking to fix, I'm looking to keep. Why go to rent? Because you're going to call up the homeowner, that owner, and say, look, my name is John Doe. I'm an investor and I see that you got a property for rent. Are you ever looking to sell this property? And even if it's not now, keep my name and number down and call me whenever. The more you have contacts out there from the RIAs, which is the real estate groups, the courthouses, the county clerk, the evictions, Craigslist, it's a lot of touches, because it's better to have about 30 different touches. And then hopefully you'll get about maybe 10%, which is about 3 to 5, hits coming to you on a weekly basis. Number 11 is tax liens. Again, it's more on the county clerk, county assessor's website. You could maybe find some tax liens on there. I'm not a professional with tax liens, but I do know some of my investors are buying tax liens. You're buying it for, just for example, a person could have a $20,000 tax lien, and 1/4, which is maybe, I don't know, $4,000, $5,000 he hasn't paid. Well, the county is going to start to put him into a tax lien, and you could buy that tax lien. It doesn't mean you got the property. It just means that if it defaults more within a certain time, that you could start to foreclose on the property once you became, once you got it under your, once you got it foreclosed under your name. So again, it takes time to get acclimated and experience with tax liens, but it's a good avenue to find some distressed properties out there. Putting signs in your own yard. We buy, properties for cash, your name and number, maybe your logo, your company name. Can you put them on the sidewalks locally? It depends on your area. Sometimes, the cops will call you up and say, take it down. And, it's up to you if you want to take it down or not, but that's a good way to do it too, whether it's your own property, or if you're already a real estate investor, why not put them on your own properties? So that's a good way to do it. But again, even on the corner, I see where I live in New Jersey, a lot of signs out. We buy properties for cash, call me with their phone numbers. And by the way, even if you're putting your signs out there, call up those people too. Maybe they just want to dump something for a wholesale fee of $5,000, $10,000. And maybe you want to double wholesale it. Maybe you want to actually buy it. So that's why I said it's a lot of different ways of touching, avenues to get some properties under your belt. You could do the old fashioned way of a billboard, calling up some billboard companies in your area and putting out that we're looking for distressed properties. Whatever the costs are, I don't know. But I will tell you, it's, you have to spend money to make money. You can't say, I want to do it as cheap as possible, as quickly as possible. In real estate, you got to buy real estate and wait. You don't wait to buy real estate. But, as any business, you want to get your name out there. You want to get your brand out there. And that's what it's all about. Maybe you want to do a magnetic sign for your car, a wraparound. Again, your company name, company logo, and things like that. That's a good way to get, broaden the, your pipeline of business. When I was starting out, by the way, as a lender, I was all over the place. I went to real estate groups, to meetup groups. I went to courthouses. We still continue today to do it. It's never, we never stop doing it, not just me, but my loan officers. And you find great people out there, great people out there. So, getting a billboard out there, and maybe you want to partner up with somebody. If you don't have all the money to do the expense, maybe you want to partner up with somebody in the same business as you. Maybe it's a wholesaler. So I'm just trying to give you some ideas out there, and things like that. Number 15, a radio commercial. You may say, "Oh my God, it's so old. It's so old. Why should I do it?" It still works. It still works. I hear not a lot, but I do hear some investors advertising their brand, whether they're a acclimated real estate and savvy investor or they're just starting out. Going back to the driving for dollars for sale by owner, which is called FSBO. FSBO is for sale by owner. And I want you to think about it then. It's an off market, so it's not on the market. Hopefully, you're going to get it for a little bit cheaper than everybody else. You want to find out when you're talking to the owner, find out not only what's the price and how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms and how many square footage, find out what their pain points are, why they're looking to sell. Because if you're looking to sell because you want to move to your child in Florida versus California, I like that because now they're more motivated to sell. Tell them what is their best and lowest price because I am a wholesaler or I'm a real estate investor and I want to, get all the information, the size, the lot size, the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, but get to their pain points, why they want to sell. Is it moving? Is it because maybe a death in the family? Maybe just wanted to be closer to their children. All this helps because now with that motivation, you could be strategically coming in maybe at a lower price than what they're asking for. Browsing expired listings. So real estate agents have expired listings. Not unless you're an agent, you can't get that, but I'm going to tell you in a little bit, in a little while, how you could also get expired listings without using a realtor. But when you're going to that realtor, my suggestion, taking them out for a cup of coffee for lunch or breakfast and things like that, and making their relationship happening, identifying yourself, what your goals are, but also tell them I'm looking for expired listings. And not just that, you want to get vacant listings. So expired listings means they had a broker or agent had a listing for 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. And it doesn't necessarily mean it had to be the broker that you're meeting or talking to. It's just that a particular property was listed with the broker, certain amount of time, never got sold, it became expired. Think about that. That is an off-market way of getting a listing, not getting a listing, getting a buyer, getting an off-property market. Hopefully that's off the market and expired and back on with you. You don't have to buy it that being listed. It's just another way of telling your broker, show me vacant listings and show me expired listings. And maybe you want to go back 30 days or 60 days, but be filtered. Be very careful with your filtering. Again, your city, your state, your price range, and then tell your broker, you know what, this fits my criteria. Call up the seller and see what they want to do. And guess what? Most likely that seller will come in even lower than what it was listed for months ago, because now they're more motivated and never got sold. Number 18, again, is just speaking out there, telling your family and friends who you are, what you are. It's more, again, about brand recognition and about, having your name out there. Place an ad in the newspaper. Again, I know you may say that it's old, it's an old-fashioned way. What's the difference? If you can get a listing, if you can get something coming your way, what is it going to cost you? A few $100s? Why not do it? Why not do it? It pays to do it. Post an ad in the landlord magazine in your local area that you're a wholesaler, that you're an investor, looking to buy all cash. Go be a little specific in your ad. I'm looking to buy 1 to 4 unit properties. I'm looking to buy multi 5+ doors. I can close in a week. Put your name, put your number. Don't be, some investors and some of my clients, they don't put their numbers. They put their Facebook ad. They're putting their, I don't know, whatever. But I say it's a shame to spend all this money on a magazine on a newspaper, on a billboard. Put your phone number out there, not just your website, and pick up the phones. Write a blog and doing some great content marketing and offer good information in your local community because people are naturally going to end up there. If you have a website, making sure that your search engine is optimized, making sure that your web page is clear, making sure every single page they can click on it, making sure that you understand Google exactly the way it works with the websites for buying a property. Because people are searching how to sell my house, you want to be able to come up there. I want to sell my house now. You want to be able to come up there with an all cash investor, or the, and or paper. I wouldn't mention the word wholesaler, but just all cash investor. Paying for ads on Google, it automatically shows up at number one in search results on Google. You can do it, but you have to pay for it. And again, I've been a businessman and ex-retailer for about 30, 35 years and doing this for about 13 years. Yes, I'm very heavy on all my content on marketing, whether it's my self-marketing, going out there, or whether it's the Google and the campaigns that we do, because brand recognition is very, very important. And even if you're starting out, yes, start small, that's okay. But going out there more will present you in a more professional manner and get your name out there. Finding a commercial broker in real estate, we kind of mentioned that. That's the realtor or the agent. Commercial broker is more if you're focusing on, multifamilies, 5+ doors, mixed use, industrial, warehouse, or retail. So now I'm going to delve a little bit more into what we were talking about. So of the 143 million units out there, 143 million units out there, about 10%, which is 15 million, are vacant properties according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Why? Bad weather, no foot traffic, it means it's vacant. Why would it be vacant? Family reasons, legal proceedings, properties being ready to rent or sell, needs repair. Maybe the homeowner doesn't have any money, abandoned, demolished, condemned, foreclosure, or sheriff sale. So get your paper and pencil ready because now I'm going to tell you some great websites on how to find these vacant properties. One of them is a website. It's a HUD and a government website. It's called gsa.gov. G for George, S for Sam, A for America.gov, and then HUD, HUD.gov, and realestatesales.gov. All the HUD and government websites have vacant properties and distressed property owners because they were the lender on these properties. So they want to get rid of them. Going back to the driving for dollars, as I mentioned, you got Amazon today, you got UPS, that's the drivers, you got USPS, you got the next door neighbors. I want you to think about it. They don't want the property next door to them vacant, where there's going to be squatters and drug dealers, and you can find out who the owner is. And when you're finding out who the owner is, tell them, by the way, what do you think it's worth? Mr. Neighbor, what do you feel that your ex-neighbor would take on the property? This is great ways to have communication and get an understanding of your market. Another website to do is NAR, which stands for Nancy Apple Robert Realtor. When you're going to the RIAs, which is real estate investment groups, you're going to meet not only landlords, wholesalers, lenders like me, you're going to meet real estate attorneys. You want to build relationship with them because they have tenant evictions, they have foreclosed situations from their clients. A lot of their clients are investors that are being foreclosed on, and their real estate attorney is hopefully helping them out. So you have unhappy landlords, unhappy that need to be taken care of, and hopefully your real estate attorney that you met could help them. They also have, if you think about it, not just the landlord that's unhappy or being foreclosed on, they have their phone number, their email that you can contact. And the attorney would love for you to help out their client. Now the attorney is going to look like a king, and he's helping out his client. And hopefully, if you're that right person, you will be helping out the client. If you don't have any information other than an address and a city and a state, you could always do a skip trace, and a skip trace will tell you the person's name, the phone number, where do they last live, and hopefully even their email address. Um, estate sales. Estate sales, you could pick them up from www.nessa, which is Nancy Edward Sam Apple USA.com. I'll repeat that again. It's Nessa, Nancy Edward Sam Apple USA.com. And then another website is estate sales, plural, statesales.org. And estate sales, for anybody who doesn't know, those are properties that were either in probate, didn't, that have to go through an estate sale because maybe there's no children, or the children couldn't come up with the liens or the debt on the property. So this is a good way to find off-market, distressed, vacant properties. I mentioned to you before door knocking, which the old-fashioned way still works. Okay, Zillow, Zillow, Redfin, Redfin, Trulia, Popstream, Popstream, List Source, ListSource, are great websites to find distressed properties, and they could also do a skip trace if you need it on there as well too. Just to give you an idea of probate property statistics, 80% of the properties on probate sites get sold within 12 to 18 months. That's fantastic. So again, probate property statistics, 80% get sold within 12 to 18 months. If you're going to go to the courthouse for foreclosures, if you're going to go to the courthouse to get eviction list, why not go to the water company and get a list of people who are 6 months behind on their water? They are in distress, and that's what we're looking for, distressed homeowners. So vacant properties stand out like a sore thumb. You're seeking motivated sellers, and again, ask them questions if you could hopefully meet them or talk to them on the phone. They're burnt out, and find out why they're burnt out. Eager to sell, tall grass, like I mentioned before, containers in the driveway, mailbox full, piled up newspapers. That to me, that's like, it's gold to be found. But keep in mind, other investors are probably doing the same thing with you, so you have to be quick finding out the information, quick on calling. And by the way, even if you left 2 phone calls, I'm a lender that calls investors maybe 20 times until I get them on the phone. That means maybe they didn't find a property, or maybe now they just found the cash or found a property. Continuously call. Like I said early on, it's a numbers game. The more you call, the consistency, and sometimes even in your voicemail, just say, hey, it's Marty from, for whatever company you are. I know I keep on calling. Please don't confuse my persistence and my commitment, and knowing that I'm a savvy investor and I can help you out whenever you're ready to sell your property. So those are some ways. I want to share some other ideas. I want you to think about the physical neglect that a homeowner has on their property. Maybe they can't fix it up, like I mentioned early on, it needs repair. So when you're talking to them and everything sounds good to you on the phone, from the price range to the lot size, to the square footage, to the everything, so now you want to tell that person on the phone, I want to meet you. How's today? And set a precedent. How was today from 12 to 3? How was today from 4 to 6? Don't tell them what day and time is available. That's an open-ended question. You want to set the precedence. I'm available tomorrow from 2 to 5. What time works for you? And I'll just be 6 minutes with you going over your property. And by the way, part of the thing is, I heard you're asking for 200. And sometimes you may want to even come in with, if I see that the property is going to come in lower, are you open to hearing my offer? Because you want to have that open discussion now, because some people are going to say, I just want my 200 and I don't want, they may even tell you, don't come meet me unless you're willing to accept my offer of the price, whatever they're asking for. Um, Let me just see if I skipped anything out here for you guys. Craigslist did that, did that. Okay. Other ways now, like I told you before, that you could find expired and vacant listings besides a realtor or broker. I'm going to give you some websites now. It's called My Plus, and it's the word plus, PLUS, leads.com. Of course, realtors and brokers. Bay, B-E-Y, com.com. So it's baycom.com. And then Redx, redx.com. These are all websites that you could find expired and vacant listings. You may not have enough information over there. If you don't, you may have to revert back to your realtor, and that's okay. It's better to pay a 2% commission than have no deal at all. And I want to say, as an investor and as a lender for about 13 years, deals are not found, they are created. The creation is finding out the pain points, finding out the issues of the seller, and then making the numbers work. That's how deals are created. It's not, oh, I just called up this property owner and I'm gonna make 100 grand. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. And I will say, for newbies out there that are starting out, if you're starting out and you don't have the capital, be a wholesale in the beginning, charge whatever the number is, 5, 10, 15,000, do a few deals, get used of networking to find the properties, and then get used to selling it, make your profit, and then you'll graduate to becoming a flipper. Today in the flipping world, the margins are somewhat slimmer today, yes. However, there's still a lot of room to make money. There's still a lot of ways to make money. It's about being creative. And, I'm not trying to repeat myself in a rude way, but it's a numbers game. Have many channels of getting properties into your phone and into your email, seeing what works for you, putting offers out. And it's okay if you got 10 deals in your pipeline, and don't look, you know what, I just want to make one offer out. No, make the 10 offers out, and probably one will come back being accepted anyway. So throw out some crazy numbers, throw out some crazy offers. It's a numbers game. And I'm not saying, go from 200 to 100, but it's a numbers game. So put out the offers out there. You got 3 to 5 days to rescind and cancel anyway. Um, and things like that. So what Express Capital we focus on over here? To the left side, it's Rental 360. That's permanent financing for properties that are 1 to 4 units only. Minimum loan amount 75,000 to 5 million. Rates right now 7 to 8%. A credit score of 650. The good thing is it's a debt service mind financing, meaning I'm not looking at your tax returns, not looking at your W-2s, not looking at info verification, and it's only under an entity. So with me, we're lending your entity, not you personally. So it will not show up on your credit report. My mortgages will never show up in your credit report. So it won't affect your debt to income or debt to utilization on your credit report. Second to the left is our no-doc commercial properties, which is retail, industrial, office, self-storage, multifamily, mixed use, and warehouse. This is permanent financing, 30-year perm. Rates right now from 8.75, and then we can give you 75 to 80% leverage. So the two items on the left are the permanent financing. And now I'm going to skip to the right a minute, fix and flips, which is our everyday product, 75,000 up to about 5 million, 12 to 36 months, interest only. We could go up to 10% down for you borrowers, 90% from us, and 100% of the rehab. In the middle is the bridge financing. If you have a mixed use or multifamily, we could be your direct lender, 250,000 up to $10 million. Again, the rates are interest only, 10%. And don't be hurt by when you hear 10, 11, or 12% on hard money. It's interest only, no prepayment penalty. So if your rate was 12%, you're paying 1% a month. That's it, where you're getting 10% leverage. And I want to explain to all you, newbies out there, if you have $100,000 cash and your property is going to make you 100 grand, well, think about it. You just returned 100% return. 100,000 cash on a property for 100, and you can make 100,000. Your money turned you 100%. But imagine that same property, you're putting down 10%, and it's still going to make you 100 grand. Your return on the investment became 1,000%. That's why I said to you in the beginning, OPM, other people's money, you want to leverage a lender where your return on the investment is greater. And if God forbid your property or project goes sour, you only lost your 10%, not your 100% all cash. So, and your other 90% money or other 80% of your money, it should be diversified to other real estate projects, other stocks, bonds, or real estate. You never want to take 100% cash and put it into one project, whether it's stocks, bonds, or real estates, or IRAs and things of that nature. So this is my direct number, 201-603-2370. The 347 number is my cell number. That is my personal email address. If you want to look us up, it is expresscapitalfinancing.com. And I will take any questions. Do we have any questions, Maria?
Yes.
Yes.
We do. I don't know if you're able to check the
Let's
Q&A
see. I see the
box.
chat group. Will there be a recording of this? I guess, Maria, you're recording it and I'm recording
Yeah.
it.
We
Beautiful.
do.
That answers that.
We
Email you
can
the
send the
slides.
recording.
Okay.
There is also a Q&A box. Are you able to access to it?
By the way, I want to touch on just a few things going back to some of those websites. ListSource, GEO Data, geodata.com, and ListSource and PropStream. You know, that's a way to create a list of properties. Again, you're going to filter it, your city, your state, your price range, your property type, your size of the square footage. And then once you create that list, from that list of these websites, you could do driving for dollars. You could do a mass marketing mail campaign. You could do cold calling. So it's great to form that list, but don't be saddened if driving for dollars or your postcard campaign or your cold calling didn't work. It doesn't just happen overnight with instant success. So there's many failures before you come to a success, and you want that because the more failures or the more hangups you get and the more no results you get, you're closer to a deal happening the next day or the next week or something like that at all. Hubzu, auction.com, they're great for foreclosures. They're great for tax records. They're great for getting owners' information. So this is all types of websites to get distressed properties, getting some information, creating a list, driving for dollars, actually going there yourself. And that's about it. Oh, well, let me tell you something else. Before you even think of buying a distressed property, not trying to sell you, but you want to have your company name. You want to have a lender behind you being approved. You want to, you want to have a title company. But you don't want to find a property and then find a lender, find a title, find anything out there. Get prepared. Get prepared. Because believe it or not, your realtor also is going to tell you who's your title company, who's your lender. Give me a pre-approval. I need all this because they're not going to submit offers unless you, as the buyer, are pre-approved. So get pre-approved. As far as inspections, I get a lot of calls. Should I inspect the property or not? Well, a, a foreclosure is going to be hard because it's already it's in the sheriff's hands. It's hard to get in, and it's probably a distressed owner in there that doesn't want to let you in. But other properties from a realtor and the websites and all that, definitely get in and do your due diligence. Ask, whether it's the owner, whether it's the neighbors, ask. I'm selling a property of mine and I have like a little leak in one of the ceilings in the bedrooms. And of course, the buyer said, "What's going on there?" He was very smart. And I told him what was happening over there. So asking whether it's the seller, asking whether it's the realtor, and things like that. Okay, questions. I'm a mortgage loan officer. Okay, and I'm not sure of the question.
There is also a Q&A box. Are you able to see it?
Q&A. Nope, I see just the chats. I see the participants. I don't see that.
Give me 1 second. Oh, maybe now you can see it.
Nope, I don't see it. If you want to ask the questions, that's fine with me.
Okay, yeah, there are a few questions. I'm gonna send them to you in the chat so you can read them directly. Someone is asking this.
So I like that question. What trends are you seeing in the 1 to 4s versus multifamilies? Has slower feds affecting the lending? Multifamilies to us is 5+ doors. Unfortunately, so us lenders, we sell our loans to Wall Street, and this past week or two, they have been declining and rescinding on buying loans from us lenders on multifamilies. Not that it's bad. It's just that right now, with the high rates and either a stabilized rent or even a compressed rate rent coming in, it's a little bit difficult to get loans approved or sold. Not to say the properties are bad. I'm an advocate. If the numbers make sense, buy the property. If the numbers make sense, even if you can afford to pay the mortgage and God forbid weather a rainy storm, do it, because in a few years you own the property, rates will be lower, your values will be higher, your rents will be higher, you control the property, you are in control if you're able to afford it. You know what I'm saying? But don't, hawk yourself to not afford it. But 1 to 4s are very stable. They're indefinitely demand. We need about 4.3 million properties to hit the market in the next 10 years, which is about 430,000 units need to be built, new homes. It's happening a little bit slower than expected, but it's happening. So single family homes, if they're coming on the market, it's going fast. Can I put those websites in the chat? Unfortunately, I'll tell you, because there's quite a few about the websites for tax liens. So tax liens for the websites, it's basically what I said before. It's going to be Trulia, it's going to be Redfin, Zillow. You could find some tax liens on GEO data, List Source, PopStream. But if you're a newbie, I don't recommend buying tax liens. But if you're a savvy investor, by all means, you probably know what you're doing. What states do I lend? Appreciate that question. My apologies for not saying it. So we're a nationwide lender. We lend in 46 states. The ones that we don't do is North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nevada. So you won't be doing any deals there anyway because they're hurting. So we're nationwide, and like I said, we do the short term and we do the long term. We are a relationship lender. We're not offer a one-off deal just to make a few dollars. We want to hear about your needs, your goals, your strategies to help you maximize and attain massive wealth in real estate. I'm not, so a question was asked, how do you buy tax liens? I'm not a professional in that. I don't want to say, I cannot give you advice on that. Will this be useful for MLOs? Much, if you can clarify, what do you mean by being useful for MLOs? Any upfront fees? My lending, there's no upfront fees. Origination is always the cost for getting the loan, anywhere from 1 to 3%. Under attorney depends, but usually $995. But there are no upfront fees whatsoever. We help you. We have a title company also, just to mention, it's called ECF Title Company. No savings. However, it's just a smoother, quicker, and easier process if, the title company and the lender is the same. So that can make it quicker, easier, and smoother, but you could choose whatever title company you want. Any other questions? What are you seeing in the mixed use space as far as loans go? Yeah, difficult. In my lending space, we're a non-bank private lender. Difficult, difficult because commercial is hurting. With that said, we don't even look at the commercial income coming in. We only look at the residential part, and maybe we'll take 50% of the commercial rent. So, for example, if the commercial has two stores on the bottom of the main floor and it's $10,000 a month, we'll only look at 5,000 a month, 60,000 a year, probably even none of it. Also, as a non-bank permanent lender, we want to make sure that 51% of the property is more residential than commercial, but mixed use as a whole is hurting. Is it going to get better? I'm a strong advocate that residential, no matter if it's mixed use, single family, or multi, it's always going to be here. The commercial part, some mixed use properties are doing very well in a local count, local city or state. But these big cities and states, they're hurting because a lot of these commercial, these AAA tenants, even though they're AAA, it doesn't mean they're going to be staying. Do you charge points in addition to the interest? Yes, every lender does charge points. That's the cost of getting the loan. How soon can you finance ground up constructions? Our loans don't take more than 10 days on the hard money, which is a fix and a flip and ground up. The most it'll take is 12 to 14 if a borrower is slow to send in the documents. On the rental 360, which is permanent financing, 4 weeks. On the debts, on the single family, what are your debt service? So we typically are 1.0, meaning no cash flow. On a debt service 1 to 4s, we can go as low as 0.75, but we typically want 1.0, which means there's no cash flow whatsoever. Again, I said the points before, it's anywhere from 1 to 3, depending on the borrower, depending on the deal. We even have a 0-point program. We have 100% financing program. So it's not about the points, it's about the products programs that go into it with your lender that could scale your business. And let me tell you, it costs money to get money, not just the advertising, not just going out, the interest rate, the points, but look at it where you're getting high leverage, low deposit, low risk, and it's a quick closing. Are you using standard 1.2? No, I mentioned before, I'm using 1.0. On 5+, I could be as low as 1.15, and that just means that there's 15% cash flow after the property debt services. I got it. What marketing resources do you suggest for finding leads for the financing industry? What resources do you find for finding leads? I'm not sure if that's are you a lender? Are you a broker, a lender broker? You're not clear, so I'm sorry if you could. I hope I answered everybody over here. And by the way, when you're buying a property, you need to know what your exit's going to be. A lender wants to know what your exit's going to be. They can only be two, whether you're flipping it for the profit or keeping it for the cash flow. But a lender wants to hear from the onset. They don't want to hear, well, I'll do this if that happens, and I'll do this if that happens. That's not a good answer for a lender to hear. You want to have your option one, and then if it's going to be to rent it out for the cash flow, a good lender is going to make sure that it cash flows or debt services, whether it's 1.0 or whatever it may be, because wherever you go for the permanent financing, the first lender, the hard money lender, wants to get paid off. So if I had many borrowers who tell me, I want to use the hard money, and then I ask them what the rent, taxes, and the insurance is going to be, and I tell them it doesn't even debt service, you're a -50. Well, I don't care anyway, but I could still get financing. Well, you're not going to get the hard money from me because it doesn't even debt service at a 0.75 or above. You can't go to anybody and get financing. So it's very important to let your lender know what your strategy is and your goal is. So because they will look out for you. So the question was, what marketing resources do you suggest for finding leads for the finding and but again, as a broker, are you in finance or are you as a broker for a realtor? I don't know what you mean. For a broker, it's all the real estate groups. It's everywhere that you can go out there to be, to become a broker or a wholesaler or to find even properties out there. If you're in the finance industry, same method, same avenue. If you're looking to buy leads, it's your PPC campaign and everything else out there. Do we have any other more questions, Marie?
Yes, I'm copying them.
Okay. Finance broker or broker you guys products as well. Okay, yeah, I mean, look, you just have to get out there. All the RIA groups, even the foreclosure courthouses, any lending expos, credit, CRE expos, real estate expos. Um, Transactional funding, we definitely do. For wholesale flips, proof of funds. Yes, it's a conversation, but we could definitely do transactional funding. So for the group that's listening, transactional funding means you're not really buying the property. You're in contract with seller A and you're selling it to the person B. You're not actually closing. We could do that. That's a flat fee. There's no interest because we are coming up with your full sale price today, as long as you're selling it today also, and it's a flat fee of $6,000. But just like I said, our products of 0 points, we could do 100% financing, transactional funding, long-term, short-term. We could be very creative for our borrowers. The important thing to know is we're not brokers, so we're not adding on extra fees, extra points. We're direct lenders. We make the decisions, and we use a common sense approach on our borrowers. We could even work with borrowers below a 650. We'd like to have a 650 or above, but we could work with lower. We can mix anybody's score, anybody's experience, anybody's money. Do you recommend staying in a certain niche, 1 to 4s, or should you naturally progress to be going into multifamilies after 10 or so? 1 to 4 buy and holds, best space to be in. 1 to 4s, there's always going to be an opportunity out there. If you're new, stay in the 1 to 4s. The amount of time, my suggestion, 2 to 3 years. It's not like, let me just buy 1 to 4s for 6 months and then graduate to a multifamily. A lender needs to know your plans, needs to know your experience. But maybe you could start off partnering. By the way, when you're going to these RIA groups, not only are you going to meet people, but let's say you're meeting a wholesaler who doesn't have the money but found a great property. Maybe you could partner up with them. Maybe you're finding, a guy like me out there who's got the money but doesn't have the resources to find a property. So it's a great way to find people, and that's why I said deals are created. But just to finalize my answer with your question, I would stay in the 1 to 4s a few years, get acclimated, get the experience to buy, to sell. You're gonna hit storms. And it could be a weather storm, it could be a tsunami, it could be COVID. We did 100% financing for a gentleman before COVID. Unfortunately, we're in for a lot of money because this guy still owes us a lot of money. Nobody ever thought COVID was going to happen. And now that it did and it passed us, he couldn't weather the storm. So there's going to be storms hitting your way, whether it's a weather condition, tsunami, COVID, your contractor screws you up. There's going to be issues. So you need to get experience under your belt. Did you say long-term transactional funding? No, I did not say that. Transactional funding is you are buying and selling a property the same day. First, you have to get it under your name, and then you have to find a seller, and then you have to find a buyer. But once you found that buyer and you got contract on the property already from a few weeks ago, that's transactional funding. I will come up with the full price for you to buy it and sell it the same day. So you have to have contract buyer already, and then your seller already, up in your pipeline. We also could do, like I mentioned, the 100% financing. We could do joint venture. So if you're looking for us to be your capital partner, not just on the debt, on the equity, if the deal makes sense and there's enough meat on the bones for us to make a profit as well, we could talk about it. We could definitely talk about it. I had one of my borrowers, a new borrower for me. The deal was going to make $50,000. He didn't have the down payment, And he said, Marty, I'm okay keeping 20,000 out of it, not even 50-50 or 70-30. He says, I'll keep 20,000, you keep the other 30. I couldn't say no, but the point is, this is our strategic products and programs that go in with it. Don't just look for the cheapest lender, because the cheapest lender means you're going to get a cheap product and you're never going to scale your business. Any more questions? Okay, so I appreciate it. If anybody wants to give me a call tomorrow, there's my number on the screen. I'm looking forward to talking to you, helping you guys out, giving you advice and all that to help you start out or continue in your path of success.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you,
It was
Marion.
amazing,
Thank you, everybody, for joining.
as always. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
It's ready. I'm starved.
No, 1 second.
Really?
We were gonna finish.
Mm.
Hello?
Hey, girls.
Okay. You're not gonna see it.
That's what you called me. You called me like 10 minutes ago. No.
Okay. Yeah, now it's 6:30 in the morning.
As long as you don't take it off the market as a contract. Fine. Okay, as long as you will take backup offers. I noticed he's going through FM loans. I thought he was going, not that I care, but I thought it was going through your husband. Again, not that I care, just. Got it, got it. Okay, makes sense.